Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. We've talked about energy healing before. One of them is Reiki, probably one of the most popular ones that can make you feel better, get you unstuck, really move your life forward. But it's not just a healing modality, it can also be a lifestyle that can really put you in a very positive light, positive mood. We're going to talk with somebody who practices Reiki, teaches it, and is very knowledgeable. I'm just learning. Last couple of years, I started doing Reiki in my journey. I know it's fantastic. I want to talk more about the lifestyle with Purnima Chaudhari, who joins us today. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Steve.
So we've talked about how Reiki can work as a modality to get us unstuck, clear out just blocked energy. When we talk about a lifestyle, how do you mean a lifestyle?
So, there are some inherent qualities of Reiki. We call it essence of Reiki, which is peace, joy, love, compassion. These are the very qualities of Reiki. When we start channeling the energy, those are the qualities we can feel. And so, why wouldn't we want that all the time, right? So for years, early on when I started practicing Reiki as a modality professionally and also for personal healing, it was just that for me. I would sit down and activate my Reiki hands and start channeling. But then as the years went by and I started feeling and experiencing the qualities of Reiki, it really was a no-brainer for me that I should infuse everything with Reiki. Why wouldn't I use it for everything? So it became a way of living and being for me, And for the past several years, probably I would say 6, 7 years, I have been using it for everything. Like to give you some examples, when I cook, I activate my Reiki hands and I charge them and then cook the food. When I'm gazing at my food, I'm channeling Reiki through my eyes. When I'm stirring my pot of soup, I'm drawing the symbols of Reiki in the soup. So, that food becomes charged with Reiki, which is so supportive for my body, very healing, nurturing. And then another example is when I water my plants. I charge the water with Reiki and then I water the plants thrive. Or if I'm walking on a nature trail, I turn Reiki on and charge the trails with Reiki, share it with nature when I'm outside. I infuse everything. Like, for example, if I'm taking any supplements, if I have to take any prescription, I infuse everything with Reiki. Everything that I consume basically gets imbued and charged with Reiki, and I find it so supportive.
Wow. Two words that come to
Yeah.
mind for me with all of this. Why not?
Why not? Right.
What do you have to lose? Except
Exactly.
there's not even time because it takes you almost no time to be intentional about putting positive energy into what you do, what you eat, and all of that. I want to look at how it's changed your life. We don't have to get specific. You shared with us before we got on the air here that you're moving. This is a big, exciting move. Like it seems lots of good things are happening in your life right now. Would you attribute that largely to Reiki?
Yes, absolutely. Because, whenever I have to make big life decisions, I always turn Reiki on because Reiki comes from source. It's the all-knowing source energy. It knows everything and it brings the higher guidance. So, the higher guidance comes from my oversoul. And this incarnation, is a divine plan by the oversoul. And so who knows better about this life than my oversoul, right? So when that guidance is coming directly from the oversoul, I'm given very specific steps to bring myself into alignment for this soul journey. And so anytime I'm making any big decisions, I always turn Reiki on and ask questions, ask for guidance, and I am always given the right direction. And now you say hindsight is 2020. When I look back at all the pivotal moments in my life and the decisions I've made, I have always turned Reiki on and asked for guidance, and I have been guided in the right direction. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
I had no idea that you could do that. I was thinking it more of
Mhm.
a positive mindset. I didn't know that you could use Reiki or ask Reiki to get an answer. I mean, certainly, I believe that the answers are within. We know when we ask questions, we know what the answer is. We just can't hear or feel
Mhm.
the answer from within. How does Reiki help and support in that?
So Reiki is a very high vibration, and automatically when we start channeling it, it elevates us to a higher level of consciousness where, our clear senses are very active. We can listen deeply, we can feel more deeply, we can hear more deeply, and some of us can see things, beyond the physical eyes. So, that's how Reiki, the qualities of Reiki are purification, healing, guidance, and empowerment. These are the four qualities of holy fire. And, whether a person is aware of it or not, when we start channeling holy fire, these four things happen. Purification happens, which means it leads to healing. And then it also brings guidance, and not just guidance, because what is the use of receiving guidance and not being able to follow it? So, along with that guidance, it
Hmm.
also brings empowerment. And so you feel empowered to follow that guidance. And, that has been my experience where it is so effortless because, the way I understand Reiki is, very different. Most people think, oh yeah, uh, do the basic things and turn Reiki on and start channeling. But for me, Reiki is very specific to the individual. And my Reiki, like if you were to channel Reiki, it would be different from your Reiki. The reason being, we are natural conduits of energy. When we breathe, we are breathing the life force. Everybody is breathing the life force, it's flowing through them. Reiki is nothing but the life force, it's infinite, abundant frequencies. But with the modality of Reiki, we're channeling very specific frequencies. Couple of episodes ago, I talked about the piano keys, if you remember,
Yes.
right? How we hit a key and it will produce a certain frequency, a certain sound. Similarly, these frequencies do that. And so it's a higher vibration that we are able to channel. But there is an alchemy that happens with our life force. And what is our life force? It is coming from the oversoul. It's that tether that connects us, our soul, to our oversoul. And that guidance is coming from there. It's coming directly from there. And so Reiki, along with that, there's an alchemy that happens, that is unmistakable because I have experienced, similar things before I started practicing Reiki. But then there's a remarkable difference in how I navigate, important times in my life or even challenging times in my life. The guidance that comes through is so incredible, and it always is very supportive. And there's this feeling of oh yeah, I don't have any fears. I can do this, like the release of fears, because that's very primal to humans, right? The fear thing. Whenever we are in a challenge, immediately fear sets in and it's like, oh, can I do this? Or, will I be okay? Reiki takes away that fear. And then it brings in so much clarity that, yeah, I'm just so
Mm.
grateful for it.
That fear thing is in us to protect us. Nothing more than that. It's
Hmm.
evolutionary, as I
Hmm.
understand it. It sounds, Purnima, the way you're speaking, that Reiki is the safety net, the safety net.
It is. You can say that. Yes, yes, it definitely is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it is such a loving, unconditional, loving, compassionate energy. And, you know, those who have received it and those who channel it will understand what I'm saying here. It's
hmm,
like you're being held by your mother. It's this
hmm,
unconditional, loving, compassionate energy. And so when you're being held that way, the fears just dissolve. There's no fear of anything. Like I remember, you know, when I received, I was in this moment, this very uncertain moment of this knowing that I'm done with where I was living. I had known it for some time, but then COVID happened, and I had to be patient and wait. And then once things started moving, and I knew I was done with that city, and I had to move somewhere, and I thought I was moving to Ontario, to Toronto, but then it didn't work out that way, because when I went there, I got a full body no, no, I'm not moving here. And so I sat down for my Reiki meditation and I asked, where am I supposed to move? If not Toronto. And
hmm.
I heard, clairaudiently, I heard. And when I heard Hawaii, I did not know where it was, because, usually when people talk about Maui, Hawaii, it's like Maui or Oahu or Big Isle. I'd honestly not heard about Hawaii. So I Googled where it is. And I was like, wow, this is like a remote island. And then, through the months that followed, I kept on doing Reiki meditations to receive clarity and guidance. And finally, I made the decision. But, you know, I did not know a single person when I came here. I had never been here. So to get that courage to, pack two bags and land here on this remote island, it took a lot of courage, really, honestly. Uh,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeesh.
yeah,
Wow. Lots to digest here. And we'll
yeah,
share, since you opened the door, that's where you are now. You just bought
yes,
significant amount of land there. You're having,
yeah,
house structures built and all of that. I
yeah.
didn't know that's what got you there. So
Hmm.
let's go back to what you just said.
Yeah,
You heard Kauai in your mind.
yeah.
Did you know
In
it was
like so
a Hawaiian island?
clairaudiently. No, I didn't know.
You just said, I'm hearing something called Kauai. I don't know what that is. Let me try and spell it. And then
Hmm.
that's how you knew it was Hawaii.
Hmm.
I'm fascinated. I had no idea. And then I'm thinking, well, she probably knows somebody there. And that's how it connected. But no, that's wow.
Yeah, and I'd never been here before. Never. I'd never been to Hawaii or any of the islands. And so it took a lot of courage, but Reiki empowered me to make this decision, because in my meditations, and I always do Reiki meditations because I find them very supportive. So I started seeing things in my mind's eye, and I started feeling things, feeling energies, and I knew I had to go. It was like this magnetic pull. And now, since I've landed, miracles have unfolded. Like I'm telling you, miracles. The synchronicities I've experienced, the miracles I've experienced, and I attribute it to Reiki because Reiki always brings you into alignment with your soul path. It always does that. And so I was, brought here, and I have made the most incredible connections here that were like meant to be. There were people who would come up to me, and I remember last year on Earth Day, I was at this very sacred spot on the island, and this woman came up to me, and she was smiling and looking, and then I was like, why is she looking at me like that? That's weird, right? But then finally in the afternoon, she came up to me and she said, I've been waiting for you. And she's a shaman here. And I was like, wow. And, like this opened up a door for me that I know I would not have stepped into if I didn't have Reiki.
How do the rest of us do this? Is it you because you have the training, the attunement, and all of that, you're able to get that answer or hear that message in your mind? Can the rest of us do that in any shape and form to get an answer?
Absolutely. There are no exceptions here, Steve. Everyone is capable of doing this. Reiki just enhances it, it really makes us listen more deeply, feel more deeply, but anybody can do this. And it is you cannot seek the answers outside, you have to go within. All the answers are within. It's when people start seeking outside of them, there's noise and chaos, and then you don't hear properly.
Yeah.
But when you go, it's that inner journey, and the journey from head to the heart. Because we are in our head a lot, logical. Like if you think logically, for me, it didn't make sense at all to come here. Really, logically, it didn't make sense. But my heart was guiding me that I need to come here. This is where my soul plan is my path is, And so everyone can do this by simply going within and with intention, connecting with their soul, dropping their awareness into their heart, and just connecting deep within and asking questions, and you will hear the answers. Everybody can do this.
Is it more of a product of blocking all of this around and not getting logical?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we have to even listen more? Like is the reason we don't hear these messages because of the stuff around us?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much chaos and noise and distractions. Like look at our phone. There's like ding ding nonstop distraction for us, right?
Totally.
So we need to take time to go and sit in nature, because nature is very supportive. It grounds us. What is grounding? It is total embodiment. That's when we are grounded, fully grounded. When we've embodied our divine spirit into our body, that's what is grounding. And so when we are grounded, we are not surrounded by chaos and distractions, and we are able to drop within our heart space and listen deeply. That's when we start hearing all this soul guidance.
And grounding can easily take place as simply as going outside.
Yeah, going in nature.
So yesterday, I spent hours doing yard work for a family that was in need. They have major cancer situations going on. I'm with a group of men that do this kind of stuff. And I sold my house almost 2 years ago. I'm looking for another one, just looking for the right deal. But this is what I used to do all the time. So I'm in their backyard and I'm lugging mulch. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm digging into it. And the other men are looking at me. It's like, what is going on with you? Like, guys half my age, like, how are you even like continuing to do this? I said, because I'm in my element. I'm grounded. I'm grateful for the opportunity because I don't get to do this. I don't have a backyard at the moment. So I get to be in their backyard. We're doing something nice for them. I didn't want to end. We had to have a cutoff time and move on to something else. But just that feeling of being outside, I'm in the dirt. And it's like, what a great feeling. It just, I feel great today. And I should be in
Mm,
pain from, literally hours and hours of that kind of work. But there's something that's I think that's why we say I'm getting back into nature. Yes, because it's like therapy.
mhm. It is. It absolutely is. Nature is the best way to ground. And that's why when we go on a vacation where we're on the beach or we're in
Mm,
nature, we feel so amazing, right?
mm,
Because when we have our city lives and we are sitting in front of our computers and sitting in cubicles or
so true.
constantly being surrounded by so much energy, it is very ungrounding. And most people don't take time to ground, and then they can't hear to their guidance, their inner guidance, and they seek it outside of them, which is not where you receive the true answers. And the thing, Steve, I also want to say is that nobody can give you the answers that are true for you. It's only you that can go within and receive those answers. No one can tell you what is right for you, you
Mm.
know. Yeah.
In the couple of minutes we have left, what are some things that we can do or say to better receive the answers? Are there some techniques, things that, I don't even know if there are. I'm asking.
Yeah, there are lots of techniques. So grounding is one of them. And I think for me, the quickest technique that I use is breath. Breath is free, breath is easy. The moment like you observe your breath, and if it's shallow, like it's only coming up to here, know that you're very ungrounded. So just that awareness, take a nice deep breath all the way to the lower abdomen. That is our reservoir for life force. So when you take a deep breath in there and then do that a couple of times, center yourself, drop your awareness into the heart, and that grounds you fully. You can also put your feet on the ground and just visualize the breath and the light coming down through your feet. You can visualize roots growing out from your feet into the earth and feel grounded. And then, drop your awareness into your heart, and you can ask questions. And breath is tuning you, it's bringing you back fully, because we take our first breath when we come on earth side and last breath when we drop this body. So breath is the most important thing. And there are gaps between the inhale and exhale. Like you inhale and there's a gap, and you exhale and there's a gap. Those gap hold a lot of information. So just tuning into your breath and just focusing on your breath and staying with your breath can really teach us a lot.
Wow. And
Mhm.
this is not, I've heard it before, but I didn't realize it or see it in that way. Or certainly somebody can connect with you, do a session, two or three, whatever it may be, to get that clarity. Thank you for sharing your story. It's mind blowing. I can't wait to tell other
Mhm.
people. Like
Yeah.
when you mentioned Kauai, I thought it was kind of a plan. This came out of the sky, literally into your mind, or it was always there.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Amazing. How do we connect with you, Purnima?
So you can connect me on Instagram. My handle is at Purnima_Chaudhary. And my website, innerjourneyreiki.com. You can send me a message from there, check out all the things I offer.
Got to listen to yourself. It has the answers. It gave you the answer. Seems like you're happy, and this journey
Very
is
happy.
just starting. got to hear the answers. We got to get rid of all this stuff around us, and Reiki can help us do that. And you can as well. Thank you so much for being here and your story and sharing all of that. Means a lot.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And have a wonderful day in Kauai.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. All right. We'll talk soon.
Thank
we'll
you.
Be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.